Qsuite is one of the only business class products people call better than first class. So today, I'll be flying Qsuite and first class back to back on Qatar Airways to show you whether Qsuite lives up to the hype and whether first class is actually worth it. Because sometimes first class can cost double compared to business class. And the real question is, do you feel double the difference? I'll be comparing these two cabins using 5 criteria. And at the end, I'll share a cheat code that gets you the first class feeling without paying first class prices. Let's start with what everyone is curious about, the food. In business class, the Qsuite dining was exceptional. There was a bread course, amuse-bouche, appetizer. For the main, I got the lobster thermidor, nothing like having lobster on a flight. There was even a cheese course and a dessert. And for breakfast, I got an omelette and a granola with a smoothie. What surprised me wasn't the menu. It was how restaurant-like the pacing felt. Proper table settings, courses spaced out, no rush, even in business class. And for first class, we started off with a drink and warm nuts, similar to business class. The table was set up very similar to business class as well, albeit the table was much larger. And instead of dinner service, we only had breakfast service, a solid scrambled eggs with sausages, along with an iced latte. Now, first class does get caviar service, which was an experience in itself. But here's something interesting. Select Qsuite routes also have caviar service. For drinks, first class gets the Ace of Spades champagne, while business gets Laurent Perrier La Cuvée. Both incredible champagnes, and honestly, most people wouldn't be able to tell the difference at 40,000 feet. So on food alone, these two are pretty much tied. So if food doesn't decide it, what does? Amenities? Let's take a look, shall we? The amenity kits are nearly identical. In business class, you get the boutique amenities in a box. But in first class, it's a branded pouch. You get the same socks, eau de toilette, lip balm, lotion, and face cream. Even the Wi-Fi is leveling out. First class had free Wi-Fi, but Qatar is rolling out free Starlink across more aircraft, and when you're on those planes, the Wi-Fi gap between business and first matters a lot less. I expected first class to run away from business here, but honestly, it's a tie. Now let's talk about the service, because this is where things start to diverge. In business class, the service is professional, polished, and efficient. But in first class, you are treated like royalty. Because there are only 8 passengers, the attentiveness is next level. They anticipate what you want before you know you want it. Here's one of the biggest differences: turn-down service. In first class, while I was changing into my pajamas, they transformed my seat into a fully made bed. In business, I had to wrestle a little bit with my blanket to set up my own bed. That was the first time I felt first class service shining through. First class wins here with the service. Speaking of changing into pajamas, usually changing on a plane causes a little bit of claustrophobia, but not on this first class flight. And this is where we talk about the hard product. The first class lavatory is huge. It doesn't have a shower like Emirates, but it is lavish. You actually have room to move. Then there's the onboard bar. Both business and first class passengers have access to this. It's great social space, but since it's shared, it's a tie. And now, I'm sure you're most curious about the seat. First class is extremely spacious, almost comically so. You have room to completely spread out, while the Qsuite is the definition of functional luxury. It's extremely comfortable, and if you get the middle pair, it becomes a double bed in the sky. And the doors in Qsuite are still one of the best features in any business class. Privacy matters. So far, first class is winning on service and space, but business is putting up a massive fight on privacy and functionality. But the biggest difference, the thing that actually blew my mind, didn't happen in the air. It happened on the ground. This is the category that people underestimate and adds to the whole experience. With first class, you get the Al Safa First Lounge. It isn't just a lounge, it's like a museum. It's quiet and spacious. It has private rooms to sleep with comfy beds and a full shower. And it has a full service restaurant. We ordered a full meal, and some of the dishes like the scallops and the dessert were some of the best that we've had, especially at an airport. It's one of the most tranquil airport experiences I've ever had. And this is where the worth it question gets interesting, because Al Safa is supposed to be first class only. But if you remember what I said at the beginning, there's a way business class flyers can get access to this, and it changes the value equation completely. If you're in business class, you can actually pay $165 to access the Al Safa First Lounge. Let me put that in perspective. You could pay for a basic hotel near the airport for an overnight layover, or you could pay $165 for access to this lounge, which includes a place to sleep, shower, and enjoy gourmet food in a peaceful environment. For me, absolutely worth it. This single hack gets you the first class ground experience for a fraction of the cost. So if you're already flying Qsuite, this is the move that gets you most of the first class feeling without paying first class money. Which brings us back to the original question. Is first class still worth it? Here's my honest take. Qsuite gets you about 80% of the first class experience. Privacy, comfort, and a product that's hard to beat. First class is still worth experiencing once because the service feels personal in a way business class just doesn't replicate. If you want more videos like this, you might be interested in some of my hotel walkthroughs, where I explore Tranquil stays around the world. I'll link a few hotel walkthroughs you might be interested in. Thanks for watching, and let me know if you'd prefer business or first class in the comments below. See you next time.